This is the third part of my code referencing videos for my future self. Sorry about that. This video will go over movement and jumping in detail. So, first of all, the movement is based off of an input axis which we have to assign in the project settings in the inputs section. This move right is mapped to A, D, left and right, which is the arrow keys. For A, so to move left, you're going to have a scale of -1. For D, you're going to have positive, and then mimic that for left and right. Back to the character blueprint. So on the input axis, you're going to have a branch. So if the axis value is bigger than 0, the condition is moving right, so it's set the variable, it's true, and then it applies the world direction movement input. I have this set as 0.5 because all of my assets are quite small, so I have to scale that for the size and scale of my game. And then vice versa, if it's less than 0, it's false. So it's false, so then it applies a negative. Now, so here is the jump. The jump is another input action, which is also in the project settings. I have this set for W, up, and spacebar, so then the player can choose whichever control scheme they want, either WASD, arrow keys, and then obviously spacebar if you're using WASD. So on input pressed, there's a jump function in Unreal Engine, so we set that to jump and then change the player state to jumping. And then I have sound effects in this game, so you're going to play sound at location. Once the action is released, you're going to use the stop jumping function. Now, I had an issue in this game where if I jumped on my obstacle that killed me, it would not play the death animation. So to fix that, we made an event on landed, which then, if the current health is less than or equal to 0, once the player lands, it sets the player state to dead, which then kills the player and does all of that, which was covered in a different video. If the player has more than 0 health, once the player has landed, it sets this player state back to idle and plays a landing sound effect. In reality, should play the sound effect after both, because if you die, you still hit the ground, you can still hear it. But for whatever reason, in this game, I didn't choose to do that. So this was really simple once I knew what to do, obviously, but whilst doing it and whilst making the game and troubleshooting, this aspect of the jump got me stuck a lot. So just make sure you have an event on landed.